The future of thousands of British jobs could be decided later today at a meeting in Mumbai of the Indian steel giant Tata. Its board is deciding whether to back a plan which would see its UK plants remain open, but with many job losses. Most of the jobs would go from the Port Talbot plant in South Wales, from where Thomas Morgan now reports.
Where once the economic blizzards of former years swept across Port Talbot, there now emerges the Abbey Steelworks.
Towering over the town, Port Talbot's furnaces were once a giant of the world's steel industry. In the 60s, it was Europe's largest steelworks and Wales' single biggest employer, with more than 18,000 working here. That figure is now just 4,000. January saw the latest round of job cuts, almost 1,000 losses amongst Tata plants across the UK, with most of them here in South Wales. And many of the people have begun to fear the worst for the town.
It'd be devastation here. Communities would never recover from it. You know, we'd end up like the coal industry in the valleys, and we would never recover from it.
So how has Britain suffered such a rapid steel decline? In 1995, 40,000 were employed in the industry across the UK. By 2013, that figure had fallen to 19,000. Production fell by almost a third, from 16.5 million tonnes to 11.9 million. In that time, the industry in China began to boom. In 1995, Chinese production stood at 100 million tonnes. The latest figure is closer to 700 million tonnes, with much of that being exported to Europe. There have been allegations that Chinese steel is being dumped on world markets at such low prices that UK plants can't compete with. And with China's economy remaining sluggish, the demand for that steel isn't as strong as it once was. As Tata bosses meet at the headquarters in Mumbai today, Port Talbot's local MP is hoping for a positive outcome.
If it takes a decision which isn't about backing the plan, we will always continue to campaign and make the case. At the moment, I'm not entertaining any thoughts of any conclusion other than a positive one.
As well as the influx of Chinese steel, rising energy costs and extra pressures from climate change policies have all had an impact on Britain's steel industry. January's job cuts here were meant to be a way of safeguarding Port Talbot. But now it seems the future of this plant and of this town hang in the balance. Thomas Morgan, BBC News, Port Talbot.
Well, our correspondent Yugita Limaya is at the venue where those talks are taking place in Mumbai. And is there a sense where you are, Peter, that ultimately this is going to end in a lot of British job losses?
Well, it's hard to say right now, Jane, because Tata has been very tight-lipped about the meeting today. They've even refused to confirm when it might end. What we do know is that the delegation from Wales that's been here in Mumbai, which comprises members of the Steelworkers Union community, as well as the local MP Stephen Kinnock, did meet with senior Tata executives last night, and they called the meeting open and constructive. We've also been told by some members of that delegation that they're expecting perhaps a member of the Tata board to meet them later this evening local time, and that's perhaps when they'll have some news on what decision, if any decision at all, has been taken on Port Talbot. As far as Tata is concerned, in a financial statement they released earlier this year, they've blamed cheap Chinese import and regulatory costs in the UK for the reasons they're suffering heavy losses in their steel operations there.
Peter, thank you very much indeed.